Dharmabytes is brought to you by Free Buddhist Audio, the Dharma for your life. Our work is funded entirely by donations from our generous listeners. If you would like to help us keep this free, make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. Thank you, and happy listening.
What Sangha says, it's better to have an honest collision than dishonest collusion. And that was just a wonderful, tiny example of this last night. I was asking Jeremy to read this little text in the puja. And he says, yeah, it's helpful. And then coming back a little bit later, said, well, actually, I don't agree with this, this little section in the text. And I say, and so we had this, very small, but, an honest collision of understanding. And, we tried to talk a bit about it, and we tried to bring in, Hannah to see if she could, give an other perspective, and then we left, not having changed. But then later in the puja, I was listening as Jeremy, very helpfully, reading it anyway, postponing our further conversation to later. I was then listening it with different ears, and I did see his point, and I kind of changed a bit and thought, I thought that particular line was a bit too strongly put or something like that. So that's a kind of a little example of the individuality that we need. We need to think deeply about what we do and stand up when we don't agree and really celebrate when we do agree. And of course, this friendliness. And as Mudita Devi was talking about, considering the effect of others. And I think it's really delightful to see how Padma-yoda, for those of you who know Padma-yoda, has really worked on this and be aware of his effect on others. Because I think he has got a huge effect on others, and he's becoming more aware of the extent of it. And in helpful communication, I remember the loudest no I ever heard was, I was considering whether, it'd be a good idea to become a dad or not. And Dhammarati said, no. And it really took me back and thought, no, you're not supposed to say that, and you're not supposed to say it like that, and you don't know me, and I had all kinds of reasons why that was not a good idea. But I took quite a while to process that no. I did become a dad, and I'm happy that I became a dad, but it was a very helpful no, because it was the only one who said no. And at least who said no in the way that I heard it. And I think it took a lot of courage to say no. And he had good reasons. And of course, I had good reason not to listen to him. But I very appreciate it all the same. And then, of course, there's this harmonizing speech. And I think, as we know from music, a harmony needs both discord and chord. And one thing that was encouraging in the puja last night is this listening to each other. And I noticed as I started the mantra, I started it slightly low. And I was wondering how could I actually raise the pitch a bit, but I couldn't. But it was a wonderful mantra all the same. But sometimes when we go into being in the mantra, we could recognize that we are a bit out of tune with the rest. And then just recognizing and let go. Let go of your voice.
We hope you enjoyed today's Dharmabite. Please help us keep this free. Make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. And thank you.